Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing your daily Walking Dead video for today, leading into the start for The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, first, we're going to give our thoughts on production starting on April 25th. And I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go ahead and check it out. It's from comicbook.com. The production date, according to JDM, so legit, he says he hasn't read the script yet, but that they're going to start shooting on April 25th. So that's really soon. With today being the 20th, that means it's going to be Tuesday of next week. So Tuesday of next week, The Walking Dead Season 8 starts shooting. Very cool, great news, and I'm happy to hear it. I haven't heard any updates yet on the writers' strike, so we'll have to see if the Writers Guild does end up striking and how that affects the show. I had one writer message me who said that there's some contract implications of that as well too, though, because writers can sign on, he said, for a couple of years, and thus even if the Writers Guild did strike, it may not actually impact this season or anything for a while, because it depends on contracts and that, so some of the writers get kind of locked in. So for us, that's a good thing, because then production would continue. So we'll see if anything does kind of halt. I'll let you guys know. I'll do a video update on it for you guys. But so far, it sounds like everything is going great and shouldn't be any issues. And probably the Writers Guild thing probably won't be a big deal, or it won't affect The Walking Dead. It might affect other shows if they do end up striking. So we'll see. And like I said, I'll update you guys on it. So happy to hear that they're going to start with the production. And of course, in July at San Diego Comic-Con is usually when we get the new trailer for the next season. So I am excited to see the trailer for this season. I'm always excited for the trailers. We all are, right? We're always excited for the trailers. But this season in particular should be really good because, it's going to be a fresh new season. Last year's trailer at Comic-Con was not the best trailer they've ever done, because half of it was like flashbacks about, who was going to be killed, that kind of deal. And there was very little, featuring our survivors, because they wanted to keep it hidden of who was still alive and who had been killed off, so they didn't show us too much. This year, of course, that won't be an issue, so it should be a really great trailer to get to see. And of course, with it being All Out War and the season, starting with episode 100, it should be probably our best trailer ever, I'm thinking. So really excited for that, and happy to hear they're getting started on it pretty much already. The next question was from Dylan, who says, Q&A. In the Easter spirit, and yeah, happy Easter to you guys, what is your favorite Easter egg from the entire Walking Dead series? So thanks, man. I appreciate it. So my favorite Easter egg of all time, it's really tough to say because they've had so many, but I guess the one that I am most fond of was leading into the Season 5 finale, where you saw, near the wolves there and that, you saw some body parts in the zombies that match Morgan. So if you're watching carefully, it was like a mislead Easter egg. It was one of those where when you look at it, it looks like you've just figured out that they're going to kill Morgan, and the group is kind of stumbling across some of his body parts, which are pretty unique for Morgan. Back in Season 5, he'd have like what the action figure I have here has, which is that like beige coat and that kind of stuff with, I think he had like glasses on, that kind of thing, earlier on. So that was a pretty cool kind of misleading Easter egg, so to speak. Of course, the PPP sound one is pretty cool for the for whispers, so that's another one that's pretty cool. And there've just been so damn many in the show, so damn many clever Easter eggs over the seasons. But for me, that one was pretty exciting. It helped. Was it Conquer become an even more exciting episode, because when the wolves attack Morgan, it's kind of like, oh, you're not sure, what's going to happen there because of what you just saw prior. So that was pretty cool. So, but yeah, there's lots of them. There's also the Bud Easter egg, or Bud, the zombie in Season 4, and he's a pretty reputable zombie in the George A. Romero zombie movies, Day of the Dead, I believe, where he's kind of like a zombie that's kind of become like a little bit more intelligent. So that was another really cool one that they put in there, to have him in there in the tunnel with, I think it's Glenn and Maggie when they're separated in that. I think when they just get back together, I have to watch Season 4 again. I haven't watched for a while, but that one's really cool and a really nice Easter egg. You guys can write your favorite Easter eggs in the comments below too. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, because 99 episodes at this point. There's lots of stuff. So TheCheezCo says, hey, Trev, do you think that John, the savior whose blind eye from the comics is involved with the recent story arc, will appear in Season 8 of the TV series? He's the only notable savior from the comics who has not appeared yet. So that's, then he says, thanks, TheCheezCo. I think Gary is John. He looks like almost exactly like him, except he's got 2 eyes. He's also pretty big, and he looks to be pretty strong. So, Gary's the one who beat up Aaron when him and Rick got back in the mid-season finale of Season 7. You have Aaron returns with Rick, and then Aaron gets beaten up by, I think it's Gary and David. So Gary is the other guy. David is the one who was already killed off in the finale because of trying to assault Sasha. But Gary's the other one. So I think Gary is John. We'll have to see if it works out that way and if he loses an eye somehow. But maybe you're right. I mean, we did see that Negan had lots of saviors there. So he could also be someone who gets cast later on and comes into play later on. They do that sometimes. You'll have like Heath and stuff like that where they'll arrive at Alexandria, but then we won't see a certain character until later when they kind of cast them in. So, it's possible they could cast somebody as John later because he's a pretty important savior. But I think it'd be even cooler if they kind of made Gary morph into John because we've already seen him in the show. He's already had some important, parts there. And that'd be cool to see him maybe lose the eye, that kind of deal, and see what happens with that. So I'd like to see that. But we'll see what they do with that or if he's just kind of cast later. Or if someone else becomes him, like what if they kept Simon around long enough and he kind of became our John of the TV series? That'd be cool too. Angus McBryde says, hey Trev, do you think Dwight will be at all annoyed because Rick was going to blow him up? So thanks and keep up the good work. So, I mean, with the explosives, we don't know how big the blast would have been from the explosives. I get the sense that it would have basically flattened them all. They would have all been like blown away, maybe some body parts and stuff like that. But for the most part, I would think that it was kind of an initiation kind of shock to start the battle and everything. So that's a really good way to initiate the battle, is to set off an explosive somewhere. They did it too with the ocean side. They had the explosion in that. It kind of sends people running, or it freaks them out, especially if it's close by. You can floor everybody. They can get all shell shocked and everything from the explosive, and then you just kind of come in with your guns and you clean them up and you take them all prisoner or whatever. So absolutely, that would have been very effective had it have all gone according to plan, and it actually would have gone better for the junkyard people had they have just stayed with Rick, I think, and just done what he wanted. But then of course Negan would have gotten caught by Rick, and then it would have all been over already, and no, we can't have that. We got to have a war, right? So so I don't think Dwight would be pissed off. I think he'd understand, and I also don't know if that explosion would have killed Dwight by itself. I don't think it would have, but it's kind of hard to say. You got to get into some chaos theory if you want to figure out how big the explosion would be, where he would be, and where all the stuff, the debris would fly everywhere and hurt people. Let's see, we've got sailordiva who says, hey Trev, QandA, what do you think Eugene will do with the second pill? So he should have another pill that he made. To be honest, I don't think they'll use it because they already used the one with Sasha. It was a huge part of the finale, a huge part of the storyline. So I don't think we'll see Eugene with his pills be used again in the story, because it would be kind of, unless he gives it to one of the girls and they commit suicide or something, I think it would just be like, kind of repetitive. So when it comes to stuff like that, once you see something used once, for them to use it again is generally not a good idea, because it won't feel fresh. It will feel like, well, we saw that with Sasha. So if we see that again, it'd be like, whatever. So I don't think we'll see it. In other words, that's what I would predict for that one. Fatty says, hey Trev, Chandler Riggs, aka Carl, talks about the season 8 script. So, and then he's got a link, and I'll put the link in the description. So, any thoughts? So, maybe what we'll do is we'll save that for the video tomorrow. We can kind of give our thoughts. But from what I've seen so far online, it sounds like everybody who's read the season 8 script is really excited for it, because it sounds like it's a really, really great script. Again, I think this will be the best season of The Walking Dead ever. I think that the ratings should kind of go back up this season. It should should kind of reclaim its maybe some of its highest ratings that it's had, maybe closer to the season 7 premiere rather than what we've had lately, which is around like 10 or 11 million views per episode. I'm thinking it should go back up to at least probably 13 or 14 or 15 million because it's a war and it should be really exciting. So people are going to want to tune in, I think, and not miss an episode. Samuel Jonsson says, hey, Trev, what's going on? I have a few questions. Why do you think they only film in the summers, and why can't they film a season or half season when it's in the winter? So this question's come through a lot. It's just not feasible. They're starting filming, next week. They have to get it done in time. There's strict deadlines for the episodes, and that's one thing about the show I really appreciate is they're doing 16 episodes. Some of them are extended. They were writing the whole show. They're doing all the CG with Shiva and all that stuff. I mean, they've got it down to a science. They can't wait, otherwise we'd have to wait for the season, and I'm not down for that. That's what they're doing with Game of Thrones this year. They waited to film during the winter, and so we're not getting it at the same time as we usually do. As a fan, I'm pissed. It will be cool to see it during the winter, for Game of Thrones. So maybe it's kind of worth it in terms of quality to kind of get that look that they want to have for the show. But personally, I don't like to have to wait. I get impatient and forget the wintertime in the TV series. Just give us a Walking Dead every October. I'm happy with that. I would not want to have to wait for it to start in like the spring or something for the first half of the season. Forget it. Just keep doing it the way they're doing it. Personally, that's also what's going on with Fear right now. I'm a little bit disappointed we have to wait till June for Fear. I kind of wanted to see it now, but whatever. I'm just happy they're doing it all for us, and we can't be too picky. Babis Stiv says, hey, Trev, please answer. Does Negan know that was the kingdom that helped out Alexandria? I think he's never met them before. Plus, the group of saviors that trade with the kingdom wasn't there when the kingdom saved the day. Want to hear your thoughts, bro. So that's really a good observation from Babis Stiv. I think you're right. I don't think Negan knows Ezekiel. However, if he'd been told about him having a tiger and that whole bit, we don't know if Gavin and the others know that Ezekiel has a tiger and knows what they have and everything, because the part of the agreement was that they were never allowed to enter into the kingdom. So that's really tricky because, that's another group. They seem to be further away. I get the idea that the kingdom is further away than Alexandria or the hilltop from the sanctuary. I get the idea that it's kind of more on the outskirts of our kind of geographical area that we're looking at for this war. So I think you're right. I don't think Negan really would know for sure, but if one of the others had been involved over time, they might have been able to tell him, or, the thing about the tiger, maybe he'd heard something, maybe Gavin and the others have seen it at some point, but I don't think so. I would lean more towards what you're saying, which is that he really would not know who these people are. He'd be like, who the hell is that? I have no idea. He knows the widow, right? The widow's alive, guns a-blazing, but I don't know. I don't think he would know them. Like he wouldn't know who they are. So that's what I think. And last one will be from Marco Malbasic, who says, hey, Trev, I have a bunch of questions, but I'll just give you, or a few questions, I'll just give you this one. Do you think it's possible Maria Bello is going to play Magna? So that's a cast that's been cast for Season 8. We already did a video on that last week. It is possible she could be playing Magna, but a lot of people are kind of at this point thinking that we probably won't see, a time skip this season because of the cost. And I agree with that to an extent. That makes sense. So we'll see if they decide to include any kind of a time skip, or if they actually do make All Out War the entire season, which is what I'm thinking they might do, is just kind of extend All Out War to the whole season. I think it makes a lot of sense when you look at the episodes, you look at the groups, you look at everything they set up in Season 7. I think there's enough there that they can kind of pace it out to be the whole season, and we might not see. So maybe she'll just be a walker or something. Who knows? I mean, it's really hard to say. Maybe it's nothing. But that'll be it for today's video, guys. Happy video, starting production on Tuesday. So awesome stuff. Can't wait to see the season, of course, and the trailer once we get it. If you guys liked this video today, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite. If you're new and you want to subscribe, click the damn button, subscribe at the bottom left. And that's it for this one today. I'll see you guys again for tomorrow for another video. So always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you tomorrow.